What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about NIO, and they just released their January 2021 delivery numbers. So we're going to go over what those numbers mean for NIO going forward, and we're going to compare them to some other numbers that NIO has reported for their deliveries. So we're going to go over a couple other pieces of news that could push NIO higher or lower over the next couple of weeks as well. So if you guys enjoy the information that I provide in this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're never late on any one of these new videos that I post, and you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So if we go over and take a look at the chart of NIO, we can see that today it's having a pretty tough day. Now, we're going to get into more on why NIO is down so much today. It's basically because they didn't really meet the expectations for their January delivery numbers. If you guys have watched some of my previous NIO videos, you know that I got into a pretty small options play that was a low percentage play, but a really high profit potential. I sold out of that play this morning when NIO was down around 2%. I had the $80 strike call, so we can go over and take a look at them. So these were for February 19th, and the reason that I bought these was because NIO had their delivery numbers coming out, and Morgan Stanley just gave NIO a massive price target raise to the $80 range. So I bought these for around $100 each, sold them for around $55. So this play was not successful. I took a 50% loss, but it was a small amount. I only put in a small amount to this trade because I knew that the implied volatility was so high, and basically that betting on NIO's delivery numbers was essentially a gamble, so I barely put any money onto this trade. So let's get into the exact delivery numbers that NIO reported for January of 2021. So if we come over to this article on Investors Business Daily, NIO and XPeng Motors posted strong January sales that suggest no pause in China's electric vehicle market after 2020's boom, but NIO stock did fall. In January, NIO grew sales 352%. We're going to go exactly over what this number means, to 7,225 electric vehicles. The new EC6 electric crossover, which officially launched in December, again outsold two older electric SUV models, accounting for 39% of January's deliveries. If we come over to this page right here, we can see these were the numbers that NIO reported in December, and NIO delivered 7,007 vehicles throughout the course of December 2020. And if we compare that to the January numbers, they sold 7,225 vehicles. So that is an increase from December, and it's always a good sign to see growth in the delivery numbers. But I think analysts were projecting that NIO was going to deliver more vehicles. I saw projections. Basically, the consensus among the analysts was between 7,500 vehicles and 8,000 vehicles. So we can see that NIO came in below that expectation, and that is one of the main reasons why NIO stock is falling. But there is something interesting that we need to take a look at. If we look at January's delivery numbers from 2020, so last year, NIO only sold 1,598 vehicles in January 2020, including 1,493 ES6s and 105 ES8s. They really crushed these numbers this year, so that's where the 352% growth comes in. So in a year, NIO was able to increase the growth of the sales of their vehicles 352%. In general, for the long term, that's great news. As I've said before in some of my other videos about Chinese electric vehicles and electric vehicles as a whole, delivery numbers and sales numbers are not the end-all be-all when you are trying to find an actual valuation for these electric vehicle companies. They are important, so if NIO came out and actually released 8,500 vehicles for their delivery numbers, the stock would have went up. But it's the technology that they're coming out with and putting into their vehicles that really drives the high valuations of these companies. If we look at Tesla, we could see that they're valued at over $1 million per car sold. So the delivery numbers are important, but they are not the deciding factor, and they're not the most important thing when determining an accurate valuation for these electric vehicle companies. There is something interesting we need to know about this article, though. If we come down a little bit further, last month rival XPeng Motors grew sales 470% to 6,015 electric vehicles. If we come over and take a look at their numbers for December 2020, we can see that XPeng sold a record monthly delivery of 5,700 smart EVs in December. So they are breaking records every single month. NIO is as well, but when you compare the growth rates at the current time, XPeng does have a higher growth rate in terms of delivery numbers, beating NIO. But you do need to take into account when these new electric vehicle companies start gaining momentum, their growth rates will be higher in the short term in the early phases of their production. NIO is thinking about expanding into other markets. They're getting into the European market through a factory in Denmark, and XPeng has only directly delivered cars to customers in Europe as of today. So NIO is actually in a better spot to expand into other markets than XPeng is. NIO has also said that they're going to be setting up a whole new factory in China in 2021. So I think we could see NIO's delivery numbers grow at a very similar rate, and I think it's possible that we see XPeng's numbers kind of taper off if they are not able to get into these new markets or gain a higher market share in the markets that they are already in. We also need to watch out for something very important. So Chinese New Year is coming up in February. And if we take a look at NIO's February deliveries for last year in 2020, we can see that they delivered 707 vehicles in February 2020. And if we compare this to January 2020, we can see that they delivered about 1,600 vehicles. So that's almost half as many vehicles as they did in January. So we saw a massive decrease in February. I think we could see that again just because of Chinese New Year, but long term, I really don't think that's a big issue. I think NIO is going to be able to expand into other markets throughout this year. So the slowdown and the decrease throughout Chinese New Year over the next couple of years will not have as much of an effect on NIO's delivery numbers in the long run. Overall, I think this is going to be a great dip to buy for NIO. It's in the $55 range. We've seen it consolidate. It shot up a lot from the low $44 range all the way up into the mid 60s on the run up into NIO Day, where they released their 1,000 kilowatt hour battery, which is going to, or 150 kilowatt hour battery, with a 1,000 kilometer range, and their new ET7 sedan, which is going to be a direct competitor of a Tesla model, and they released their new autonomous driving system. They've also partnered with Mobileye to produce robo-taxis in Tel Aviv. Now, I was talking about this little consolidation period right here, and depending on the news for NIO Day, we were either going to see a break above or a break below. And right now, it looks like we're going to see a break below in NIO's share price. I think $50 is going to be the low, and that's a pretty aggressive downtrend. If it goes to 50, that's going to be an amazing buying opportunity because NIO has earnings coming up in the beginning of March. So I think they're going to be able to release some great numbers. They've really upped their sales every single quarter, month, every single time they've released their delivery numbers so far, they have been an increase. Now, when we get to February, we might see a decrease because of Chinese New Year, but overall, I don't think that's going to affect earnings that much for NIO. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed what I had for you in this one, please go down and hit the like button and make sure you turn on that notification bell if you do consider subscribing. And you guys get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a really profitable day in this crazy marketplace, and I'll see you guys in the next video.